Okay, so now I'm going to get started. And so what I was saying a little before was we're going to talk about success, right? And what success means, and understanding that success is subjective. So that success looks different for everyone, right? So oftentimes we hop on these calls, right? And we listen to personal development, and we listen and we listen and we listen, right? And we think to ourselves, like, how have I not thought like this before, right? Like you start to read and you're like, wow, like all of this makes so much sense. I feel like this person is literally speaking right to me, right? How have I not thought like this before? How am I just now realizing all of this, right? And then we go on to live our normal lives. We don't apply it. We don't really utilize information that we're absorbing. And so that's kind of what I want to talk about, right? Self-development is not really about how many books you can read, how many calls you can hop on, right? And understanding that when you hop on these calls, remember not to compare yourself, right? Don't compare your progress. Understand that everybody moves at their own pace, right? Success looks different for everyone. So when you start to compare, Neno said on the first call that I ever hopped on, that Neno had, he said, comparison is the thief of all happiness. And you hear that quote all the time, but it really spoke volumes to me that day, because like I said, these are things that we think about all the time, but we don't really realize until we hear it, what they mean, right? Or use it to apply to ourselves. And so comparison is the thief of all happiness. We compare usually our level 1, for example, my level 1 to Matt Rose's level 100. Doesn't even make any sense, right? Or my level 1 to Rue's level 50, right? Or Eddie's level whatever. We start to doubt ourselves and fall into a rut, right? A hole of negative thinking. It's all a distraction. Really, when you start to think about it, you're like, why am I sitting here? Why am I doing this to myself? It's a distraction, right? It's the easiest way to instill fear and anxiety into your natural routine, is to compare yourself to other people, right? But that'll only happen if you let it. And if you let it, you will fall into that cycle, right? And you'll never feel good enough. And so I guess my point is that self-development isn't about how many books you can read, how many calls you can hop on, right? Are you applying the information that you're absorbing, right? Are you moving with intention? Are you conscious of the small decisions and actions that control your next move, right? And essentially your whole day, right? Understanding that it's not about the bigger choices that you make, it's about the small little unconscious and conscious decisions that you make every single day, right? In every moment. Are you aware of those unconscious and conscious thoughts? I was talking to my friend last night, and he began to explain that he makes every decision, right? No, he began to explain to me how he makes every decision, right? Making choices every single day based on observing yourself, right? Based on observing yourself, not based on what you read, right? Not based on what he said or what she said, based on observing yourself, analyzing your own success, your own errors, right? Your own progress, not his, not hers, right? Not Matt Rose's. Of course, it's important to learn from other people, right? But using and addressing your own progress is honestly going to push you further than anything else, than any other book, than any other call, right? And so he started to tell me that he uses and addresses his higher self versus his lower self before every decision, right? And so like everybody was saying, right, I'm only human. Last night I fell asleep at 2 o'clock in the morning. I woke up at 7. So I got 5 hours of sleep. I was tired, right? But I was only tired if I told myself I was tired. I wanted to stay in bed, right? And my lower self would have. My lower self would have stayed in bed, right? Or I would have woke up literally like 10 minutes before the call, which I've done before. Not smart, right? But my higher self understands the power in routine. My higher self understands that there's importance in preparation, in staying ready, right? So the question before every decision becomes, what would my higher self do? Is this going to push me forward? Or is my lower self going to hold me stagnant, right? Because we oftentimes do make good decisions, right? A lot of our decisions are good ones, the ones that push us in the right direction 50% of the time, right? But then there's another 50% of the time where our unconscious decisions hold us stuck, right? A cupcake there, right? An extra rest day there. But understand that there's 2 routes to self-development. There's 2 routes to self-development, right? You have the foundation and you have the tactical, right? The tactical route to self-development is all the new trends, right? 10 ways to achieve success, 10 new ways to meditate, right? Whatever trend Instagram is trying to push, right? The tactical is that new strategy that you start, right, towards personal development and never really utilize, never really finish, right? And when all else fails, all that is there is your foundation, the foundational route to self-development, right? Is all that remains. Your foundation is your reason, your why, right? What is holding you? What is keeping you strong, right? Why are you doing this? Why did you start? Who did you start for? What did you start for, right? Your foundation is your core purpose, right? Your drive. Your foundation should push you to take action, right? Get you out of bed in the morning when you only got 3 hours of sleep, right? Make choices that your higher self would approve of. Think positively, right? And move with intention. Your foundation has to do that. When all tactical fails, your foundation has to be there to hold you accountable, right? And we all heard it before, right? The how doesn't matter when your why is strong enough. That's the difference between the two. Your tactical becomes the how. Your foundation is your why. When all the hows fail, your foundation is still there, right? And you will find another how, because it doesn't matter what your how is when your why is strong, right? Keep that foundation strong and you won't have to find a new tactic, right? You won't have to try every single new trend. Your foundation is your tactic. It is what pushes you to be better, right? It is what you use. Does that make sense? And in essence, self-development is and always will be, right? Remaining self-aware of these decisions and your higher and your lower self. And choosing your higher self when your lower self is kind of hovering over you, right? Recognizing your faults and your progress and still being able to take action, your ability to take action, no matter how big or small. So the power really boils down to those two, right? Awareness and choice, moving with intention, right? I read yesterday, you are what you do, not what you say you'll do, right? You can hop on every MAMBA morning call. You can state your affirmations, but it's up to you to afterwards put that to work, to believe it, right? I say this every time. Somebody once told me that they hop on MAMBA mornings and then go back to sleep. I said, bro, you're missing the point. You're missing the point of why I started these calls, right? Get up early. Kobe used to get up, bro, so early, right? Did what he had to do, put in the work, still made time for family, right? His why was aware, held himself accountable, right? Put in the work that he had to do. So after this, it's up to you to believe. Do you believe in your affirmations enough to put in that work, to work towards the daily intentions that you set every single day, right? You want to go chairman, you have to move like a chairman. Think, see, act, breathe like a chairman. A chairman does not slip right back into bed, right? Sleep an extra hour. A chairman would not compare their success to others, right? Because they're not looking anywhere else. They have tunnel vision. Understand that there's a light at the end of your tunnel, at the end of everyone's tunnel, right? There's a light. But you will go through the storm and you have to push through that using your higher self, right? Using those positive decisions, that positive thinking, right? Those affirmations. You just got to get there, right? 1% better every single day. I said this last time, 1% better every single day. At the end of the year, you'll be 365% better. Crazy to think about, right? In a world of hares, strive to be a tortoise. 1% better is all it takes, right? And so with that, Mamba Morning super short today. I just wanted to give you guys a little bit of value. My friend gave me so much value yesterday, I had to share. Remember to strive to become your higher self every single day. Before every and any decision that you make today, think about what would my higher self do versus my lower self, right? And if you haven't reached that point of your higher self, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. I can promise you, you have, right? Maybe you haven't realized yet. So I'll drop my Instagram in the chat. Let's talk. You can talk to me about anything at all, right? Anything at all. I'm here for you. So 1% better is all it takes, right? Making conscious decisions and recognizing your unconscious decisions. Do that today. Go through today and be like, wow, I didn't even think about doing this. I just do it. And if it's something that you don't approve of or that your higher self wouldn't approve of, aim to change that. Aim to change that. You'll be surprised. Makes a crazy difference, right? When you start to recognize all the unconscious things that you do. And so I hope we all have an amazing week, new goals, right? Let's keep growing. Let's keep connecting. You have my Instagram, right? A lot of you even have me on Telegram, right? So just hit me up directly. I'm always here. I'm all ears all the time. So with that said, let's have a beautiful day. And yeah, let's keep growing. I'll talk to you guys later.